Good morning, everybody. You are now tuned into Ask Dr. Foge with the Hill Report. Today, we're continuing with a series we started last week on diabetes. I know last week we talked about what diabetes is, what its complications are, the different types of diabetes. Today, we're just going to continue with that theme, how to control diabetes. And with the how to control diabetes, the main thing usually, we're still talking about type 2 diabetes. The main way to control diabetes is your eating habits, food. Today, when we talk about food, there are three or four things about food that we need to be always be mindful of. That is the first one, and the most important one probably, is the amount of food we eat in one setting. Your body, as a type 2 diabetic, it is producing insulin, yet it's not sensitive. So it's not properly clearing up the sugar or the food from your blood, the sugar that is induced by the food you ate. Now, what that leads to is gushing of blood around, gushing of sugar in you within your blood. Now, the way to help your body is to eat less. Portion control is extremely important when it comes to diabetes. So, what we recommend is eat a little bit more frequently, but eat smaller portions. The way most people accomplish that is to have breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and then insert snacks in between those so that you're not starving by the time the next meal comes, end up overeating. And that's extremely important for diabetics. In addition to that, of course, the type of food you eat is also important. Uh, so, what I have in my hand is something called superfood. The superfood is a something that was produced by the American uh, College of Lifestyle Medicine. What you would see on the superfood is the different categories of food. Um, Per CDC, uh, the way we are advised to eat is to have uh, proteins, which you see here on the top, and grains, which you see here on the bottom, and fruits, which you see here on the top, and then vegetables, which you see here on the bottom. These are different categories of food. These are healthy food, not just for diabetes, but just about everything else to do with your health. That's your high blood pressure, that's your lifestyle, that's energy. So these are plant-based food. Superfoods are plant-based food. Now, studies after studies show that eating meat does lead to a long-term insulin resistance because of the lipotoxicity or your uh, cells forming fats around themselves or because of the meat. So plant-based food, you got your proteins on the top, your grains on the bottom, your vegetables on the top here. Oh, I'm sorry, your fruits on the top here. You got your vegetables on the bottom here. And this here, when you come to my clinic at CarePoint Pharmacy, we go through this in details every time. We go with at the initial meeting. These are the things I'll cover, and we say you ask me questions, I answer those, and whether it's the weight loss program, whether it's your diabetes care, whether it's just the medications you're taking, this is always involved. And you will hear from me about these foods, and that's done intentionally. Now, that's the type of food, meaning the nature of food is important. Remember, the biggest thing is the portion, amount of food you're eating in one setting. The next thing is the kind of food you're eating. With that, let's say you're a meat lover, you really cannot go, you cannot imagine your life without meat. I understand. Now, just cut it down. If you eat, meat for lunch, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, maybe just do breakfast and lunch this time, and then maybe just a breakfast. So, however that meant to you, cut them that down. There's certain things that a diabetic you just have to run away from. Completely ignore it. If you see it, turn the other way. One of them is soda. I have in my education room in the back there, what you'll find is how much sugar is in a soda, in a cup of soda, 8 ounces of soda. Soda is terrible. Any kind of soda. I don't care what you think it is, or whether it says a diet soda or uh, zero sugar. I would run away from soda. Again, if you must have a soda. If you are, you drink your soda 5 times a day, maybe cut that down to two, maybe three, and then slowly taper off. But soda has to go if you're gonna control your diabetes. There is no way around with that. The next kind of food I would say run away from is your sweets, your ice cream, your candy, your donuts. Unless your sugar is low and you need to bring that up, there's absolutely no reason for anybody, any diabetic, to be eating sugar. Sugar, in my mind, is poison. I mean that in every sense of the word. As a diabetic, you are eating poison when you eat sugar, because what that does is it just dumps poison into your blood, that goes to your brain, that goes to your blood, that everywhere in your body, and that's what kills you over time. That kills your kidney, that kills your cells, that kills your uh, nerves, all of your organs. So why eat poison? So avoid those sugars. The third is the other kind of food I would say, most people don't really think about is starchy vegetables like fruits. I'm sorry, I like potatoes, I should say. Potatoes tend to have a lot of starch, that which converts to sugar, and that's a bad thing. So I would say avoid those as much as possible. Uh, Probably not as bad as soda, not as bad as sweets, but I would say potatoes go in that category as well. The last one I would say run away from is fruit juices. That's your orange juice, that's your apple juice, that's your whatever juice you buy from the store. They have dumped a lot of sugar in it. If you see how they make those juices, you will not even smell it. Forget about drinking it. Uh, I would say if you have to have some fruit juices, squeeze your own. I think once you buy the processed ones, those are bad. There's no way around it. So that's the food. So portion control, avoiding certain things. Those are the sodas, the fruit juices, the starchy vegetables like potatoes, and of course the sweets, ice cream, candy, and donuts. The other thing with food, I would it really worth repeating is many times people say, you know what, I'm only eating twice a day, so I'm gonna eat just you know large amount of it because I know I'm not gonna eat breakfast or I'm not gonna eat lunch or dinner. That's a really bad way to do it. What you're doing really is you're dumping a lot of sugar at one time. You're hoping your body clears it out. I would say cut them out. It's just not worth it. If you're gonna have to eat that amount of food, it's not good for you, for your sugar. You're better off eating your breakfast, lunch, and dinner in a smaller portions. Now, for diabetic, we're gonna cover this at probably in another series. There are a few things in addition to um, food that I always cover. This is your daily reminders of diabetes. So, of course, the food is important. And we'll be talking a little bit about exercise the next time. The recommendation is you need to have exercise at least 30 minutes a day, 5 days out of the week, or about 150 minutes a week. That's an exercise. When we talk about exercise, sometimes, you're moving around the house, you're cleaning. I guess that could be an exercise. Really, what you're looking for is something that gets your heart to race, your body to break a sweat. It's not every exercise is created equal. So if you're moving just from point A to point B, yes, that's better than sitting, but it's not good enough. So I'll say get something that could be dancing for ladies. I know a lot of women love dancing. That's great exercise because it gets you sweating. Even laying down on your carpet and just kicking and pulling and pushing and turning and twisting, anything you can do to get that heart to pump faster is good for you. That's your exercise. And in a nutshell, you got to take your medications. You got to check your blood sugar. There are a few things that you need to do daily, like foot care, brush, taking care of your teeth, quitting your smoking and whatnot. We'll talk about those two at some point, but generally, uh, the three things I'll repeat uh, with food: eat less, eat good food. The four categories we went over, and avoid the things we need to avoid: the sodas, the fruit juices, the sweets, and the starchy vegetables. Of course, come to CarePoint. We can talk more about it. We'd like to thank the Hill Report one more time and for what they're doing to educate the community. And thank you all for listening to us.